Good morning, everybody. I'm Robert, aka The Tall Man.
And I'm Lisa.
And we are going to cook in our RV today. All right, hey everybody. I'm Robert, aka The Tall Man. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to start a little series, cooking in an RV kitchen.
Sure,
I
why
don't know
not?
what to call it. We've talked before, you know, RV kitchens are kind of small. We obviously do lots of reviews and you see how small they are. Of course, we've seen a couple recently that are huge, like bigger than our home kitchen. And so, but we're gonna show you how we use our space here in our RV to cook, you know, like home style meals. Right? We're gonna do breakfast today.
Yep.
We're gonna do?
Yep.
What are we having?
We're gonna have some scrambled eggs and some hash browns and, I don't know, English muffins or raisin toast, whichever you want.
Excellent. No bacon on the menu today?
No bacon on the menu today.
Oh, God, I love bacon. All right, well, let's get to it.
So I guess the first thing that I have to get going is the hash browns.
Hash browns.
Yeah.
Well, you have to hydrate them a little bit, right?
I do. The instant dehydrated, I guess I should say, potatoes work well for us here in the RV. So I get this big old thing at Sam's Club. And I don't really have a measuring system for them. I just use about a half of a coffee cup.
Okay, half of a coffee cup works.
Whatever that equals out to be. That seems to fit pretty well in our little hand.
Nice. Now, how do you have to approach cooking any different here than you have to do when we're at home?
Just shuffling things a little bit more, I think, because the counter space is limited.
Yeah. And I think using certain pans sometimes for things they weren't necessarily intended for.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. What am I getting in here? Oh, go for eggs.
And I know we sort of mentioned it in the intro, but I know, I mean, as you see stuff falling out of the cabinets, guys, I mean, this is, you know, what it's like. You know, we only have so much room, and so, as Lisa talked about, there's always a shuffle, right?
There's definitely always a shuffle.
So we're gonna have some English muffins today, so I'm gonna, for now, just push this off to the side.
Alrighty.
Don't forget it's off to the side when you turn it on.
Okay.
That way there we have a clear view of what you're doing over there in that corner. I see you a lot of times use the top of the air fryer for like putting stuff.
I do. I use that frequently.
It's the biggest kitchen appliance that we have. When we're going down the road, that air fryer fits. It's underneath the seats, right? The banquette, the dining room seats here. Mm-hmm. So
it's a little inconvenient to pull that out whenever we need it. So it's important enough for us to have it up on top of the counter.
we use it a lot, don't we? I mean,
Yeah, we do.
We make steaks in there. We reheat pizza in there. We put chicken in there. We do our French fries. We're gonna have French fries in there. We've made egg McMuffins in there, if you will. You put everything in there at one time. The egg, the bacon, and the, oh God, the English muffin. It all goes in there at the same time. And then at the last second, you open it up, put the cheese on there, and stick it back in for a couple seconds, and you've got an egg McMuffin all in one.
That's right.
God, what else do we do in there?
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention.
Last night we made skirts, flank steak in there.
We sure did.
And guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't used your air fryer for steak, oh my God, you don't know what you're missing. It tastes just like a grill, but you're able to do it inside. There's no mess. I mean, oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. And it cooks it so fast. It's truly amazing. we'll show us making steak in there once. That'll be one of our little cooking episodes, I guess. But you know, everything's got a place. You know, as you can see from what's on the stove, that you know, we've got some little pans, right? The little black one in the back is what she uses for the hash browns, and the one in the front she uses for the eggs.
And just because you have 3 burners doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get 3 pans on the stove. These are small pans. The larger pans, I may be able to get 2 on there at a time.
Yeah, one of our pans is I think it's an 18-inch, and when that's on there, it's the whole kitchen. I mean, it's the whole stove. Which is why I sort of mentioned, you know, if we have to use that, you know, sometimes you have to cook in phases. If you have to use that pan, but you have something else to cook, you either have to cook the other thing first and put it off to the side, or you have to cook the other thing last and push the big pan off to the side. So, yeah, it's a big pain in the butt. But, you know, it's what you have to do when you're in an RV.
That's right.
Now, again, unless you're in one of the big fifth wheels that have, you know, huge, massive kitchen, you know, 4-burner residential stove, then it's sort of business as usual. But you're getting into your high-end fifth wheels at that point. But for those of us in normal fifth wheels, normal travel trailers, even the minis, right? Most of the minis, they've only got 2 burners. But they've got about this much counter space, which is why we really wanted to show you what it's like trying to cook in here. Because, you know, it's a bit challenging with so little counter space. There you go, she's putting the hash browns in there.
I'll finish rehydrating on the stove.
Well, they take the longest, so that's obviously why you put them in first.
That's right, they do.
Now, even our silverware, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but that's stacked inside that drawer. We've only got 2 big drawers, and they're big, they're pretty deep, but we had to find a way to be able to use all the space. So in the top one, we have basically all of our silverware utensils. The silverware we have in a tray, and all the utensils like the spatulas and the serving spoons and all of those things. You know, the hot pads. They're all underneath that silverware tray. And so when we need a serving spoon or something, we've got to pull out the tray of silverware to get to the
serving spoons.
Yeah, see? Well, I don't think any of the cameras are catching that. Maybe the one to your right, Lisa.
Oh, this one? Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a camera. See?
Yeah, we have
so, see all the
tray.
spoons are down there on the bottom, and then the silverware tray. So we just kind of stack everything in there. We just pull it out when we need it. The second drawer she uses for all her spices, and they fit perfectly.
Everything except for the tall thing and then onions, which I have to have up here because it's too tall for the drawer.
Gotcha. Yeah, we keep the minced onions. They're actually behind the stove top. I don't think any of our cameras are catching that.
And the funny thing is there's a gap or a shelf space that's behind the stove, and I know where everything is, so if I need my minced onions, I can reach around here and pull them out.
Nice. Of course, none of the cameras are seeing that. Sorry, guys. I mean, we're trying to find a way
figure out where
to get you the best angles so you can see what we do here, but, you know, it's challenging. Now, in our little intro, we mentioned bacon. So, okay. Bacon, we have to use our biggest pan. And as we mentioned, it really does take up the entire stove. So what Lisa will typically do is, you know, either on a Saturday or a Sunday, is she'll cook up a couple of pounds of bacon.
Yeah.
And just, that's what we cook it all up. And we don't eat 2 pounds of bacon at the same time, but we'll eat off of that for a couple of weeks. trying to do this with 3 cameras. We got the one that I'm standing behind right now, so you can see the lovely Lisa. Hello, lovely Lisa. We got our GoPro over there, stuck up on top of the range hood. And then over on the other side of our tiny little kitchen here, we've got the other camera. Woo-hoo-hoo. So you can see what happens in our tiny little counter space. In the great lengths that we go to get you these shots, we've actually turned the AC off in the RV because the AC unit is literally right above this camera. And we don't have one of them whisper quiet ACs, so it's pretty loud.
And I had to have the oven vent on, the range hood vent, because if I don't, the fire alarms start going off.
Yeah,
this has to be on.
The smoke detectors in here, they're very sensitive, which is great. They're very sensitive. And just from the smells of cooking, I mean, if there's just a little bit of smoke, I mean, that thing goes off. Oh yeah, got some eggs going. I can taste it now.
Do you want cheese on your eggs?
Sure. Doesn't matter to me. Oh, I think the English muffins just popped.
Yep, I think you're right. And I think the hash browns are good.
Nice. Yeah, you see we only made one thing of hash browns. We just split it. We do half and half. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, I know it's winter in a lot of spots. I know things are starting to warm up in places, but we're currently in sort of southern Florida, and you know, it's a good temperature today. And let's be honest, RVs are, you know, they're big metal boxes, and the travel trailers like we're in, you know, the walls aren't the thickest, so the insulation is, you know, we'd like a little more, let's just say. So it gets warm in here. Then we've got the stove on, propane, that's putting off heat. So yeah, it's a little hot in here.
It does get hot in here.
I mean, normally it doesn't because we've got the AC running, but again, for your benefit, we've turned it off so that you guys can, you know, hear us. And because if not, all you'd hear is no, it's not that one.
I almost forgot you wanted cheese on your eggs.
Yeah, I said that's fine. Now the other interesting thing is cleanup, because the kitchen's so small. Cleanup and stuff, you know, a lot of times you'll bring all your cookware over to the counter, or your plates or whatever, at least into the sink. Or we can't do that here either. And so when we're done eating, we leave the dirty dishes right on the table. The cookware that's dirty stays on the stove, and then Lisa will grab one piece at a time and clean it and put it into the dish drainer that you see over there, because there's just no place to put it all. All right, last but not least, we've got our English muffins. Look, I know this wasn't all that spectacular. It's just scrambled eggs and hash browns, but at least you get to see how we manipulate our way around a tiny kitchen, you know, to have a nice home-cooked meal. I think when we do something a little more extravagant, like, you know, steak and potatoes and a vegetable and a salad, you know, something a little bit more, you know, takes a lot more time and there's a lot more pieces to it. That might be a little more interesting, but, you know, we figured we'd show you, you know, what it looked like. Yeah. See, there you go.
Breakfast in an RV.
All right. Well, we hope you like our breakfast in an RV, everyone. Stay tuned. Give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it, and we'll do our best to show you how we continue to use our tiny kitchen. All right. Until then, be safe.